everybody, and welcome to the interview panel to go through the cybersecurity, cyber insurance, and the risks that need to be put in place to help businesses protect both their onshore and offshore staff. My name's Delia McKenzie. I am the Business Development and Sales Manager at Intogreat. So today we're really lucky to be able to speak to a selection of specialists who can share knowledge around some of the most commonly asked questions and what you can do to protect yourself and your business. Our starting point from Infinite Edge, I'd like to introduce you to Marty Haak. He specializes in IT and how you can set your systems up with a cybersecurity focus.
Marty Haak, my business is Infinite Edge. In our industry, we call ourselves an IT managed service provider. Essentially, we provide IT services and cybersecurity services to other businesses. There's quite a few, obviously, and I think if I had to narrow it down to top five, my top five often changes, I have to say, because there's a long list. But I think number one would probably have to be security awareness training for your team. The human element, the human error, is the biggest risk in an organization. So you can put as much cybersecurity in place as you want, but your people are going to be the ones that unravel it, unfortunately, by either intentional, unintentional human activities. Then probably multi-factor authentication. It's something that you should have on as a must. And everything you're using, just turn it on if it offers it. I suppose it's a first line of defense. Having a password manager. There are other ways to manage your passwords, like passwordless is another thing that's starting to get traction. But for most people have passwords, so you shouldn't be making up your own passwords. You should have a password manager to create strong, unique passwords and store them. And the other one, probably a big one that we ensure is to restrict permissions on your devices. So no one should be having admin rights unless and if they need it, it's only a short-term sort of thing. But no one really should have that. Most people have admin rights on their computers, and that's where things can go wrong. And probably. But in light of the the recent Optus breach, which is a hot topic, obviously, is there's a great saying which I love to use. It's expect the best, plan for the worst, and prepare to be surprised. So for a lot of people, and I think that most people expect the best, but the thing is, in the end, you've got to plan for these things to happen, because it's a matter of when, not if. And a lot of people think that cybersecurity can completely eliminate risk, but that's just not the case. No, I don't think they are. And I think that the problem starts is that they think cybersecurity is an IT problem, like it's solely an IT problem. And that is the biggest mistake that most businesses make. So for it to be successful, it needs to be driven from within the organization. And it actually covers not just IT, but processes, everything in that business, from an analog process to a digital process, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of the time, the team members themselves aren't trained and aren't aware of the risks. Having the right policies, having the right processes in place, and also ensuring that you're protecting the threats within the organization. A lot of people think that cybersecurity is all about keeping the bad guys out, but a lot of it is insider threats, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Short answer to that, Adam, is no. In the end, any staff is a vulnerability. So the problem that we sort of see with a lot of offshore staff and a lot of offshore providers is that they allow them to use their own devices. And that's actually not something that's unique to offshore staff. It's actually even happened within Australia. So a lot of, especially through COVID and things like that, companies over the last few years relaxed the whole BYO device policies, and now they're kind of reeling and wanting to backtrack and realizing that they've actually exposed themselves to all this risk. So issuing a company device is an absolute must. Don't allow your people to use personal devices when they're accessing company information. Look, I think, I don't if it's handled properly and you have the right policies in place and you actually, like I said, issuing devices to your team offshore, and those devices are locked down, your teams, but you're treating essentially like with any offshore team member, you really need to treat them like your own team. They're not just a team over there that somehow are different to the team onshore. And I think that's also, you guys probably talk about this as well, from a cultural perspective, you want to bring them in and expose them to all the different things that you do, your team onshore. And that includes, like I said, policies and procedures and training so that those risks are minimized.